Imagine waking up tomorrow with absolutely nothing, no money in your bank account, no connections, no advantages. Most people would panic, thinking their life is over. But I'm here to tell you something most people never understand. It doesn't matter if you are broke today. What matters is what you carry inside you, the skills, the mindset, and the habits that no one can take away. Some of the richest people in the world didn't start with money. Some of the most successful leaders weren't born in perfect circumstances. What they had was something far more valuable, a set of skills that earned them opportunity after opportunity, even when the odds were stacked against them. Today, I want to share with you 5 skills that will pay you forever, skills that will make you unstoppable, even if your bank account says 0. These are not tricks or shortcuts. These are the abilities that shape your life, your relationships, and your future. Skills that money cannot buy, but which can turn any setback into a stepping stone, any challenge into an opportunity, and any dream into reality. By the time we finish, you will see why being broke today is not your problem, and why learning these 5 skills is the fastest way to make sure you never stay broke again, not just financially, but in opportunity, growth, and influence. So I ask you to listen closely, because what you hear in the next few minutes could change your life forever. The idea that skills are more valuable than money comes from a simple but powerful truth. Money is something you hold, but skills are something you become. Money can be earned, spent, stolen, lost, or inflated away. It depends heavily on external systems like the economy, markets, employers, or governments. Skills, on the other hand, live inside you. No crisis, no failure, no bad phase can take them away once they are truly learned. A person with money but no skills is always at risk, because their security depends on circumstances they cannot fully control. A person with skills but no money is only temporarily uncomfortable because they have the ability to create value again and again. History shows this clearly. Economic crashes have wiped out savings, currencies have collapsed, and businesses have failed overnight. In all those moments, the people who recovered fastest were not those who had the most cash before the crash, but those who knew how to do something useful. Build, fix, teach, sell, code, communicate, organize, or create. Skills act like a personal engine. Even if the fuel runs out, the engine remains ready to run again as soon as there is an opportunity. Money without skills is like fuel without an engine, powerful but useless once spilled. Skills also compound over time in a way money often does not. When you learn one skill, it makes learning the next skill easier. Communication improves leadership. Leadership improves decision-making. Decision-making improves business sense. Over time, skills stack on top of each other and multiply your value. Money usually decreases when used, but skills often increase when used. The more you practice a skill, the sharper it becomes, the more confident you grow, and the more opportunities it attracts. Another reason skills matter more is control. Skills put you in charge of your own future. When you rely only on money, you rely on where it comes from, an employer, a business, an inheritance, or luck. When you rely on skills, you rely on effort, learning, and adaptability. This shifts power back into your hands. You are no longer waiting for permission or perfect conditions. You can move to a new place, switch industries, or start again from zero, because what you carry with you still works anywhere. Skills also shape mindset. Money can make people comfortable, sometimes too comfortable. Skills keep people sharp. Someone who knows they can always create value tends to be more confident, more resilient, and less afraid of failure. Even when they lose everything, they do not lose belief in themselves. That belief is often what turns small chances into big breakthroughs. Over time, money naturally flows toward people who consistently solve problems. And problem solving is a skill that grows stronger through struggle, practice, and real-world experience rather than luck or inheritance. The idea that your background does not decide your future, but your learning attitude does, challenges one of the most common excuses people use to limit themselves. Many people believe they are trapped by where they were born, how much money their family had, the quality of their education, or the opportunities around them. While these factors influence the starting point, they do not define the finish line. What truly shapes long-term outcomes is the willingness to learn continuously, especially when learning is uncomfortable, slow, or humbling. A strong learning attitude turns limitations into training grounds rather than permanent barriers. Background is something you inherit, but learning attitude is something you choose. Two people can grow up in the same environment, face the same struggles, and receive the same resources, yet end up in completely different places. The difference is rarely intelligence or luck. It is curiosity, discipline, and openness to growth. A person who believes they already know enough stops evolving. A person who accepts that they know very little stays alert, hungry, and adaptable. That mindset allows them to absorb lessons from books, mentors, failures, criticism, and even from people they disagree with. The world rewards those who can update themselves. Industries change, tools evolve, and old rules expire. Someone who clings to their past, whether it is a poor background or a privileged one, eventually falls behind. A strong learning attitude means being willing to unlearn outdated beliefs and relearn better ones. It means asking questions without ego and practicing without shortcuts. This kind of attitude makes formal education less important than self-education and certificates less valuable than competence. Learning attitude also influences how people respond to failure. Those who blame their background see failure as proof that they were never meant to succeed. Those who value learning see failure as feedback. Instead of asking, why me, they ask, what is this teaching me? That shift in thinking changes everything. Each mistake becomes data. Each setback becomes experience. Over time, this approach builds resilience and clarity, which are far more powerful than a perfect start. When learning becomes a habit, progress becomes inevitable. You may move slowly at first, but you never stop moving forward. Skills accumulate, confidence grows, and opportunities appear where none seemed possible before. People begin to trust you not because of where you came from, but because of what you can do and how quickly you can grow. In the long run, the world responds to value, and value is created by those who are always willing to learn, adapt, and improve, regardless of their starting point. The idea that communication is the foundation of leadership and opportunity comes from the reality that no matter how intelligent, skilled, or hardworking a person is, their impact remains limited if they cannot express ideas clearly. Leadership does not begin with authority or position. It begins the moment someone can influence understanding, thinking, or action in others. Communication is the bridge between what exists in your mind and what the world can recognize, support, or reward. Without that bridge, even the best ideas remain invisible. Opportunities are rarely given to the most talented person in the room. They are given to the person who can explain their value with clarity and confidence. Employers, investors, teams, and customers cannot read intentions or effort. They respond to words, tone, body language, and structure of thought. When someone communicates well, people feel certainty. They feel direction. This is why communication naturally creates leadership, even without a title. People follow those who make things clear in confusing situations. Communication is not only about speaking, but also about listening. Strong leaders understand before they respond. They read emotions, ask better questions, and adapt their message to the audience in front of them. This ability builds trust, and trust opens doors that credentials cannot. A person who listens well gains information others miss, and that information becomes an advantage in decision-making, negotiation, and collaboration. In practical life, communication shapes careers. A promotion often depends on how well someone can present ideas in meetings. A business grows when its value is explained in simple terms. Conflicts are resolved or intensified based on how words are chosen. Even confidence itself is often perceived through communication, not inner ability. When someone speaks with structure and calm, people assume competence. When communication is weak, doubt grows, regardless of actual skill level. Communication also multiplies the power of other skills. Technical knowledge becomes useful only when it can be transferred. Creativity gains value when it can be shared. Vision turns into action when it is articulated clearly. This is why communication sits at the center of leadership. It activates everything else. It turns individuals into influencers and ideas into movements. In a world filled with noise, the person who can communicate with clarity stands out immediately. Clear communication reduces confusion, builds alignment, and creates momentum. It allows people to be understood, remembered, and trusted. Over time, this skill becomes a magnet for opportunities because people naturally move toward those who help them see things more clearly and feel more confident about the path forward. The idea that learning how to learn is the ultimate survival skill comes from the speed at which the modern world changes. Knowledge today expires faster than ever before. What is useful now may become irrelevant in a few years, sometimes even months. In such an environment, memorizing information or relying on a single qualification is risky. The real advantage belongs to those who can quickly acquire new knowledge, adapt to new tools, and adjust their thinking when circumstances change. Learning how to learn means understanding how to absorb, process, apply, and update information efficiently rather than depending on fixed answers. This skill goes beyond formal education. Schools often focus on what to learn, not how to learn. Once formal education ends, many people stop growing because they never develop the habit of self-directed learning. Those who survive and grow are the ones who can identify what they need to learn, find reliable sources, practice consistently, and evaluate their own progress. They are not intimidated by new fields or unfamiliar technology because they trust their ability to figure things out step by step. Learning how to learn also builds confidence in uncertainty. When faced with a new challenge, some people freeze because they fear looking ignorant or making mistakes. A strong learning mindset removes this fear. It allows people to ask questions, experiment, and fail without seeing those failures as personal flaws. Each mistake becomes feedback, making the learning process faster and deeper. This mindset transforms uncertainty from a threat into an opportunity. Another important aspect is adaptability. Careers no longer follow straight lines. People change roles, industries, and even identities multiple times in their lives. Those who depend on one outdated skill struggle, while those who can learn continuously transition smoothly. They can reskill, upskill, and reinvent themselves when needed. This makes them resilient during economic shifts, technological disruptions, and unexpected life changes. Learning how to learn also encourages curiosity, which fuels innovation. Curious people explore beyond requirements, connect ideas across fields, and discover new solutions. This curiosity keeps the mind active and relevant. Over time, consistent learning compounds, making each new skill easier to acquire than the last. The ability to learn efficiently becomes a personal safety net, ensuring that no matter how the world changes, there is always a way forward for those who are willing to keep learning and evolving. The idea that failure is a teacher, not a verdict, challenges the belief that mistakes define a person's ability or worth. Many people see failure as an ending, a public label that says they are not good enough or capable enough to continue. In reality, failure is information. It reveals what does not work, what assumptions were wrong, and where improvement is needed. When approached correctly, failure becomes one of the most honest and effective forms of education because it comes directly from experience rather than theory. Failure teaches lessons that success often hides. When things go well, people rarely question their methods or decisions. When things go wrong, reflection becomes unavoidable. This process sharpens awareness and builds judgment. Each failure exposes weaknesses in skills, planning, mindset, or execution, offering a clear direction for growth. Those who learn from failure gain insight that cannot be taught in classrooms or books because it is grounded in reality and personal accountability. Seeing failure as a verdict creates fear. People avoid risks, stay in safe zones, and choose comfort over progress. Seeing failure as a teacher creates courage. It encourages experimentation, initiative, and persistence. The difference is not in how often people fail, but in how they interpret failure. Those who succeed in the long run are often the ones who failed more times but quit less often. They treat each setback as a temporary outcome rather than a permanent identity. Failure also builds resilience. When people survive difficult experiences, they develop emotional strength and perspective. Problems that once felt overwhelming become manageable. This resilience is essential in a world where uncertainty is constant and success is rarely linear. Over time, repeated exposure to failure, when combined with reflection and effort, creates confidence that is calm and realistic rather than fragile and dependent on praise. Another important lesson failure teaches is humility. It reminds people that growth is ongoing and that improvement is always possible. This humility keeps the mind open to feedback and learning. Instead of defending mistakes, people begin to analyze them. Instead of blaming others, they take responsibility. This shift leads to maturity and better decision-making. When failure is understood as a teacher, it loses its power to stop progress. It becomes part of the journey rather than a sign to quit. Each attempt, whether successful or not, adds experience and clarity. Over time, this approach turns setbacks into stepping stones, shaping individuals who are wiser, stronger, and better prepared for future challenges. The idea that digital skills create leverage in the modern world is rooted in how technology has reshaped the way value is created, distributed, and scaled. In the past, impact was limited by location, time, and physical resources. Today, a single digital skill can reach millions across borders with minimal cost. This leverage means that effort invested once can generate results repeatedly, making digital skills far more powerful than many traditional skills that rely on constant physical presence or manual repetition. Digital skills allow individuals to compete globally, regardless of where they start. Someone with a laptop and an internet connection can learn coding, digital marketing, graphic design, video editing, data analysis, or content creation, and offer those services to the world. Geography no longer decides opportunity. What matters is the ability to use digital tools effectively to solve problems, communicate value, and deliver results. This shift has lowered entry barriers while increasing the rewards for those who adapt. Another form of leverage comes from scalability. A digital product, system, or piece of content can be replicated endlessly without proportional effort. A video, app, online course, or automated system can serve thousands or millions without requiring the creator to work more hours. This breaks the traditional equation of time equals money. People with digital skills can earn while they sleep, reach audiences they have never met, and build assets that grow over time instead of resetting each day. Digital skills also increase adaptability and security. As industries evolve, those who understand digital tools can transition faster. Businesses now depend on technology for visibility, operations, and growth. People who can manage data, platforms, automation, or online communication become essential rather than replaceable. Even traditional roles are being reshaped by digital layers, making these skills relevant across fields rather than limited to the tech industry alone. There is also a compounding effect. Learning one digital skill often makes learning the next easier. Understanding how platforms work improves marketing ability. Marketing knowledge improves sales. Sales improves entrepreneurship. Over time, these skills combine to create independence and bargaining power. Employers, clients, and partners value people who can bring measurable results through technology. In a world driven by speed, information, and connectivity, digital skills act as force multipliers. They amplify talent, extend reach, and reduce dependency on gatekeepers. Those who invest in learning and applying digital skills position themselves not just to survive change, but to benefit from it continuously as the world becomes more connected and technology-driven. The idea that emotional intelligence beats IQ in the long run highlights the difference between raw cognitive ability and the ability to function effectively with people and emotions over time. IQ may help someone understand complex concepts, solve technical problems, or perform well in exams, but life and work are rarely only intellectual challenges. They are emotional, social, and psychological environments where relationships, pressure, conflict, and uncertainty are constant. Emotional intelligence determines how well a person navigates these realities without burning out or damaging connections. Emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. People who understand their own emotions can recognize when fear, anger, ego, or insecurity is influencing their decisions. This awareness allows them to pause, adjust, and respond instead of reacting impulsively. High IQ individuals without emotional control often sabotage themselves through arrogance, impatience, or poor communication. In contrast, emotionally intelligent individuals remain steady under pressure, which makes them reliable and trustworthy in difficult situations. Another core element is empathy. The ability to understand how others feel, think, and react creates strong working relationships. People prefer to collaborate with those who respect them, listen to them, and make them feel understood. In leadership, this matters more than brilliance. Teams do not follow the smartest person, they follow the person who makes them feel safe, valued, and motivated. Emotional intelligence builds loyalty, reduces conflict, and improves cooperation, which leads to sustainable success. Emotional intelligence also plays a major role in handling failure and criticism. High IQ individuals may take criticism personally and become defensive, while emotionally intelligent individuals extract useful feedback without damaging their self-worth. This openness accelerates growth. the ability to recover from setbacks, regulate stress, and maintain optimism is essential in long-term careers and businesses where challenges are unavoidable. Over time, emotional intelligence influences reputation. People remember how someone made them feel more than how smart they were. Promotions, partnerships, and opportunities often go to those who can manage people, not just problems. Even in highly technical fields, advancement depends on collaboration, leadership, and communication, all of which are rooted in emotional intelligence. While IQ may open the first door, emotional intelligence determines how far someone can walk inside. It shapes decision-making, resilience, influence, and trust. As careers extend over decades, the ability to manage emotions, build relationships, and stay balanced becomes a stronger predictor of lasting success than intelligence measured on paper. The idea that sales is not about selling products, but about selling ideas and value changes how people understand influence and success. Many assume sales is limited to business transactions, but in reality, sales is present in everyday life. Whenever someone tries to convince another person, gain support, or inspire belief, they are selling an idea. Products are simply physical or digital expressions of value, but the real exchange happens in the mind of the buyer, where trust, relevance, and benefit are evaluated. People do not buy things because of features alone. They buy because they understand how something improves their situation. Selling value means identifying a problem, clearly communicating how it can be solved, and showing why that solution matters. This requires empathy and understanding rather than pressure or manipulation. The most effective salespeople are not aggressive talkers. They are good listeners who align what they offer with what the other person truly needs. Selling ideas extends far beyond commerce. Leaders sell vision to teams. Entrepreneurs sell belief to investors. Employees sell competence and reliability to employers. Even students sell their seriousness and potential to teachers and mentors. In each case, success depends on the ability to frame value in a way that resonates emotionally and logically. The skill lies in translating abstract ideas into meaningful outcomes that others can see themselves benefiting from. Another important aspect is trust. Value cannot be sold without credibility. People are skeptical by nature, especially in a world filled with noise and exaggeration. Trust is built through honesty, consistency, and delivery. When someone focuses on long-term relationships instead of short-term wins, their ability to sell grows naturally. People return, recommend, and support those who respect their intelligence and interests. Selling value also requires clarity. If you cannot clearly explain why something matters, others will not feel confident choosing it. This is why communication and sales are closely connected. A clear message reduces uncertainty and increases confidence in decision-making. When people understand the value, the decision feels safe rather than risky. Understanding sales as the exchange of value rather than the pushing of products removes fear and stigma around selling. It becomes a tool for service rather than persuasion for selfish gain. Those who master this mindset gain the ability to move ideas forward, open doors, and create opportunities in any field because they understand how to connect what they offer with what others care about most. The idea that adaptability matters more than talent reflects the reality that talent is often fixed, while conditions are constantly changing. Talent may give someone an early advantage, but it does not guarantee long-term success. Many talented individuals struggle when circumstances shift because they rely on what they are already good at instead of evolving. Adaptability, on the other hand, is the ability to adjust thinking, behavior, and skills in response to new challenges. And this ability keeps people relevant regardless of how the environment changes. The world rarely stays stable. Industries transform, technology replaces old methods, and market demands evolve. A talented person who refuses to adapt may find their strengths becoming obsolete. In contrast, someone with average ability but high adaptability can learn new tools, shift strategies, and stay useful. Adaptability allows people to respond to change rather than resist it. This response is often the difference between progress and stagnation. Adaptability also affects mindset. Adaptable individuals do not tie their identity to one role, one skill, or one success. They see themselves as works in progress. When something fails, they adjust rather than quit. When feedback arrives, they refine rather than defend. This flexibility keeps ego from blocking growth. Talented but rigid individuals often struggle with this because change threatens their sense of competence, making them defensive or resistant. In real life, employers and organizations value adaptability highly because it reduces risk. An adaptable person can be placed in new situations, trained for new responsibilities, and trusted during uncertainty. They bring stability during transitions because they remain calm and solution-focused. Talent alone does not guarantee this reliability. In fact, high talent without adaptability can become a liability when conditions demand change. Adaptability also fuels creativity. When people are open to change, they experiment, combine ideas, and explore alternatives. This leads to innovation and problem solving. Rigid talent follows familiar patterns, while adaptability searches for better ones. Over time, this creates more opportunities and growth. Ultimately, talent may determine how fast someone starts, but adaptability determines how far they go. In a world where change is constant, the ability to learn, adjust, and reinvent becomes more valuable than natural ability. Those who embrace adaptability remain useful, confident, and prepared no matter how unpredictable the future becomes. The idea that discipline turns small efforts into massive results is rooted in the understanding that talent, luck, or motivation alone are rarely enough to achieve lasting success. Motivation comes and goes, inspiration fluctuates, and natural ability has limits. Discipline, however, creates consistency, and consistency compounds over time to produce outcomes far greater than occasional bursts of effort. Discipline is the mechanism that converts intention into action repeatedly, even when it feels difficult, boring, or inconvenient. Discipline begins with self-control. It is the ability to delay immediate gratification in favor of long-term benefits. People with discipline follow routines, meet deadlines, and maintain focus on priorities rather than distractions. While many start projects with enthusiasm, few maintain the effort required to see results. Discipline bridges this gap by enforcing action even when enthusiasm fades or external recognition is absent. Over time, small steps taken consistently accumulate into significant progress. Another key aspect of discipline is structure. It allows people to allocate time, energy, and resources effectively. Without structure, even talented individuals may waste opportunities or work ineffectively. Discipline helps break large, intimidating goals into manageable actions and ensures that progress continues steadily. This approach turns overwhelming tasks into achievable milestones, reducing procrastination and increasing confidence. When effort becomes habitual rather than sporadic, momentum builds and results accelerate. Discipline also strengthens resilience. Consistent effort requires persistence through setbacks, failures, and distractions. Those who are disciplined continue moving forward even when progress seems slow or invisible. This persistence allows them to learn from mistakes, adjust strategies, and maintain focus, creating a cycle of improvement. In contrast, sporadic effort often leads to frustration, abandoned goals, and wasted potential, regardless of talent or opportunity. Furthermore, discipline multiplies the value of other skills. Knowledge, creativity, and intelligence are limited if not applied consistently. Discipline ensures that these abilities are practiced, refined, and implemented in real-world situations. It transforms potential into performance, turning ideas into results and intentions into achievements. Ultimately, discipline is the force that turns ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. Small, consistent habits, studying an hour a day, practicing a skill regularly, maintaining focus on priorities, compound exponentially. Over months and years, disciplined individuals create results that appear disproportionate to the effort seen at any single moment, making discipline the most reliable lever for long-term success. So today, we've talked about 5 skills that will pay you forever, skills that will keep giving. No matter where you start or how broke you are today, learning how to learn, communicating clearly, understanding emotions, selling value, and adapting to change are not just skills, they are lifelines. They make you resilient when the world shifts, confident when others doubt, and capable when opportunities appear. Remember, money may come and go, luck may favor some more than others, but skills stay with you. They are your personal power, your insurance policy, and your ticket to creating a life you choose. The people who succeed long-term are not always the smartest or the richest. They are the ones who invest in themselves relentlessly, who fail and rise again, who who act while others wait for perfect conditions. So take what you've learned today. Start small, start consistent, and never stop improving. Your future is not written by your circumstances. It is written by the skills you build, the effort you put in, and the courage to keep moving forward no matter what. I wish each of you the very best in your journey. May you have the determination to learn, the resilience to adapt, and the confidence to create your own opportunities. Good luck in building the skills that will serve you for a lifetime, and thank you for taking these minutes to invest in yourself today.